All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Digital Crypto Answers with James, Rob, and of course myself. And this week, we're going to talk about Bitcoin beyond $50,000, which should be right around the corner, but there's a lot more to talk about. So, James, Rob, welcome once again. How are you guys doing?
Great.
I'm doing good. The market's up.
When the market's up, it's always good.
Yeah.
All right. So I think all of us were a little premature last week when we did DCA. We all thought Bitcoin would hit 50,000 within a few days. It was close, 49.5, 49.7, but didn't really get there. So now we're creeping up again right before the show, 49.2, right? So do you guys think we're going to see 50,000 for sure this week? Or do you think we're going to teeter-totter again around where we are?
Well, it's clear what we're seeing is every time it gets close, like typically you'd expect the sellers to sell when it goes over the 50K level, but I think the sellers are jumping the gun a little bit and just selling right before. So every time we get close, a sell wall hits. That's what I see. And it's normal behavior. But those sellers will be gone soon. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 runs at it, and then it'll break through. It's my take.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can we do this before all the people that really know where it's going are like, I'm not selling, and I'm just waiting for you guys to drop it. And not that I'm never gonna say weak hands and glass hands and all that stuff. I don't really care. People got to sell for whatever various reasons, but there's a lot of people out there that just say, hey, there's only so much Bitcoin to go around, and I'm gonna snatch it up if you're gonna sell it.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys see the metric that came out recently? I think by Will that showed long-term holders plus lost Bitcoins equal 85% of the total supply.
Yeah.
See that?
And it's stunning. In fact, my whole thesis with Bitcoin began looking at scarcity. And then I spent a lot of time, I'm talking months, digging into the amount of lost coins. And now all of a sudden there was 3 articles last week on lost coins. And now the world is waking up. Really, when people say 4 to 6 million are gone, plus the 1 million Satoshi lockup, that's 5 to 7 million. That is definitely gone. So I bet my bottom dollar on that. And you take that and the Will Clemente information put together is just, I think I spoke about it on Friday or Saturday, but that's huge news. The scarcity is unbelievable. And the other very stunning statistic was in the Coinbase report. And that is I can't remember the exact numbers. I'll pull them up. But if you pump $100 million into Bitcoin, price goes up by $500. Now, if you extrapolate that out, you put that into $1 billion, that's $5,000. The Tesla purchase was 1.5 billion. So that means $7,500 increase. And the money, it doesn't take a German pension fund can blow €1 billion like that. So it's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, before this thing goes straight up.
Now, do you think that is assuming that say 100 million or $1 billion, whatever, is done on a spot market? I'm assuming, because if they do it ODC, that's probably not going to affect the price.
Yeah, but what it'll do is it'll trickle down. It won't instantaneously trigger the price, but it'll trickle in fast. Because now there's so much on-chain analysis that didn't exist in 2017. Now everybody sees everything. And that's the difference. So it's like there are people that just look at wallet transfers. It's like, ooh, this wallet's been inactive for 4 years, and all of a sudden it's moved a ton of money over there. So everybody's watching everything now, and that's the beauty of this, is this pure transparency.
Yeah, I think MicroStrategy set the whole tone when they did all those microtransactions over months and months and months. And they're like, well, we'll just do this, and then no one will discover it until after the fact, and no one did. And then after that, now everybody knows. So here we are. And then I watched your show, George. I watched your show about all the different wallets and all the different things that are disappearing or just being lost. My question is, when are they going to actually count that into the total market cap and just go, hey, this is gone. It hasn't been moved for X amount of years. It's not moving. That would be the big question.
Exactly. It's really hard to judge price. I mean, all these indexes, CMC or Live Coin Watch, wherever, I mean, they can only pull it up from the the order books of the major exchanges, but it does not take into account how much is lost or how much is held. But if you really dig into it, you'll realize for many, including Bitcoin, it's really scarce, especially you divide it out by 8 billion. So, I mean, speaking of Coinbase, you guys brought this up. So what do you think about this news? This was announced a few days ago. Coinbase is buying 500 million in crypto. They didn't say Bitcoin specifically, in crypto. And they're going to put 10% of all their future profits into crypto as well. What do you guys think about this?
I mean, doesn't it make sense? I mean, if you're going to get into something, I mean, you've already got all, let's be honest, they've got all the information they could possibly need to make the best allocation to whatever crypto fund that they could think of, right? So if you're going to if you have a ton of money, where would you want to put it into? Do you want to put it into Visa? Or like my brother talks about it, we just talked about beforehand, or do you want to just put it into one of the best performing asset classes of all time? To me, it makes sense, but it's my take.
Yeah, well, for me, it's a genius move. I'm very impressed, not necessarily with how Coinbase run an exchange, but what they do in all the other ancillary activities. Like their VC arm is very powerful. Their OTC and institutional business is extremely powerful. But what I like most about this article was the fact that Armstrong is going to position the $500,000 based on where he sees demand coming from his exchange.
Yeah.
So he gets to see money flows, kind of like the way Robinhood share the data of how people trade back to hedge funds. So they can go against the actual retail investors. This will be like Armstrong looking at where people are placing their bets. And it's like, wow, everybody's pumping money into, say, Avalanche. And they can follow that too. So they can follow each other's trades. And I thought that was nice.
Exactly.
I'm going to just throw this out there. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, if you're a crypto exchange, you want to invest in crypto. But we know the Coinbase effect is real, right? So whatever they're investing into, they're going to basically put onto their platform. And do you think the regulators going to have a problem with this? Because basically they know whatever they're buying and they put into their exchange is going to pump.
No, they'll shut down Robinhood before they ever go after them for this. It's minor. It's not an issue. And this game has been happening in the history of the world, so not a concern.
and even if they do, it's called the cost of doing business. Let's say they get dinged, however many billions. Like, that's okay. We made 100 billion. We're fine. And then off you go. And then everybody's happy. And then blind eye.
And it's also easy to justify because they could say we're holding it as a reserve in case we get hacked so we can pay back our customers. Get out of jail free card.
Coinbase, if you're listening, you need to hire James. That was pretty good.
Hire James ASAP.
No, thanks.
You giving this some thought.
I'm happily retired, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So going back, the other big news, and I saw you guys tweet about this, and that is Michael Burry, of course, the big short guy, who is very anti-Bitcoin and crypto overall, but now he's shorting Cathie Wood's ARK innovation, which doesn't have Bitcoin in it, but does have a lot of Bitcoin-related companies like Square and Tesla in it. So, James, thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I know Michael Burry. I respect him. Ever since he first came to light with his Big Short. Brilliant guy, super smart. But I think media just likes to overblow stuff a lot. So if we analyze what he did, if we look at his Tesla and Bitcoin, first of all, he believes those two things are in a bubble. Second of all, his ARK short is only 1%, 1.4% approximately of his total short. And his Tesla short is 35 times larger than his ARK short. But you've got to remember as well, he's also short the 20-year. And he's long a lot of other tech companies like Google and Facebook and some other tech auxiliaries. So you could also construe, first of all, if you look at his entire portfolio, number one, they're all uncorrelated assets. Like, you'll see Walmart in there and CVS and a whole bunch of other stuff, as well as Google and Facebook. And then the way he plays things, he has these uncorrelated assets with different Sharpe ratios, which gives him the flexibility to get in and out of positions real quick during volatile periods. What he expects is volatility. And what he's done is hedged his portfolio so he can win both ways. And that's what a good investor does. And I think that's exactly what he did. And I bet you $10,000. That's his exact plan. And also with things like with Tesla, like Tesla can go from 540 to 840 in a month.
Mhm.
And when he has that volatility, he can play it every way. He's short now, but he maybe already covered his shorts because these are positions from last quarter. We won't find out what he did until the end of this quarter.
Yeah, but why do you think? Do you agree with Kathy that he doesn't believe in innovation? Because I don't know if it's due to his constant shorting, or due to just something else.
It's nothing to do with innovation. I think he's just a portfolio hedging himself because if you add up his positions in Google and Facebook, they're equivalent to his short of Tesla, and ARK is tiny. So from that perspective, he does believe Bitcoin and Tesla are a little bit overpriced, a little bit of a bubble. He's mentioned that publicly. And if you look at ARK Invest, it's heavy Bitcoin and it's heavy Tesla. So that's his hedge. But he's also long on the other side of the fence. So either way, he wins. And that's what a good trader does. He's basically arbitraging his portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I had talked about this week, and I reached out to James. I go, so James, for these options, like what kind of time frame does he have to actually exercise these options? Because it's not like you have to say, yes, I'm definitely in for this one. Right. So I don't know if we know the particulars, but have you researched that part, James?
We don't. He doesn't have to disclose his strikes or his time to expiration. So we don't have that information. But you can pretty much tell that these are medium-term puts and calls. So like 6 to 12 months, I would imagine, is what he buys and sells. That gives him time and flexibility to play the volatility game. And that's all he's doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at 6 to 12 months, I mean, 6 to 12 months in our space is an eternity, right? So, I mean, that would make a ton of sense. And if you want to do something like that and go, when it starts to go down, you're like, this is the time. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So either way, he'll win. He'll do well, and that's what he does. But the problem is the media don't understand how he operates and what he's trying to do. So they think, oh, there's two sides of the fence. It's Kathy and it's Michael, and never the twain shall meet. And that's just stupidity. So again, the people on CNBC and all these other channels really don't know what they're talking about.
Well, George, I think you covered this too. But that video where it was Kathy Wood, when she was being interviewed, I think it was MSNBC or one of the news rags. She was pretty much kind of playing it up as well, going like, I don't think Michael understands innovation. We put him in 5 different sectors: energy conservation and blockchain technology and blah, 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 AI. And she goes, he goes, he's just a bear and he doesn't really understand what's going on. So maybe there's a little bit of that back and forth, but it does make sense exactly what you're saying, James. If you're talking about 6 to 12 months, I mean, I could totally see that. That makes sense, which I think would put a lot of investors in our space at ease going, hey, he's just playing the game that's been put forth. So,
and he's hedging his portfolio and he's arbitraging things and he expects volatility, he expects inflation. That's why he's short the 20-year. I mean, he's actually really clever in the way he's positioning everything. And if you look at the balance between the 20-year and Google and Facebook and Tesla, and that's why I'm convinced it's orchestrated, because it's evenly balanced. If the market goes up with Google and Facebook, he wins. The market tanks because of inflation, he wins. If the market goes down short term because of a black swan event and tech gets hit or interest rates go up, he wins. That's his play. It's real simple.
So it's all about hedging.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about hedging. I saw a super chat. It disappeared. Oh, no, I didn't. Here we go.
Super.
Please talk about the Golden Cross and how it affect the entire crypto scene. I know he's talking about the Bitcoin on a daily. What do you guys think about the Golden Cross about to hit? Is that a big deal or no?
It's not about to hit. We have another week to 10 days by my numbers.
Turn it up here. Yeah, it's not like sudden, but it is swinging up there. But if it does cross,
yeah, a week to 10 days will be there at this rate. But for it to cross, we need to go to about 55K for it to happen within a week by my calculations. So we're still a good bit away. The 50-day is at 39,000 and the 200-day is at 46,000. So we have a long way to go. And it grows very gradually because it takes 50 days for it to shake out. Yeah. So even if Bitcoin went to 65K tomorrow, it would take 3 days to get there.
Right.
How much, I mean, not to do a pun, but how much stock do you put into a Golden Cross? Because it seems like, I mean, in crypto, everything moves so fast. I'm like, really? Another one? Okay.
Yes, I did an analysis of historical golden crosses for all the big names in the S&P 500 and top stocks and Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, for example, every time it hit a golden cross, there's a 52% chance afterwards it goes up big. Okay, but that's just the nature of how the market reacts.
Sure.
And then the death cross is even more interesting because the death cross doesn't work half the time. It's supposed to signal death. It doesn't. It really doesn't work. But golden cross is definitely a very bullish sign. But remember as well, with TA, a lot of it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Traders look at it and go, ooh, wow. And I know a bunch of traders that are waiting for the death cross to happen or the golden cross to happen before they buy into Bitcoin. They're not going to buy it at 48,000 or 49,000 or 28,000. They want to see the golden cross first. And that for them is a buy signal. Then they jump in.
They're missing out on all the gains that's jumping in like 55, like you said, or 60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is clear. I don't know if you guys could see it, but the death cross last happened on a daily was June 18th, which is about a couple months ago. And Bitcoin at that point was about 35,000. So, I mean, after death cross, yes, it did go down to 28 a couple times and 29, but then you could see shortly after that bounced up and went on a crazy run. So it's not, for me, it's great, but like you said, 50% of the time it works, 50% of the time it doesn't, and it's a lagging indicator, so you can't put all your faith on it. So
that's the word, lagging indicator.
Right.
That's exactly it.
So what about something like, do you guys believe in a stock to flow model from Plan B?
Yes.
What about something like this, on-chain metric?
I mean, I see it. It makes a lot of sense. I've read the paper and I can see where it goes. I mean, it's not as 100% accurate, but it's been pretty darn accurate for a good amount of time. Just lately, especially when we can see it right there. But I mean, if you look at the data behind it, I can understand it. And again, maybe this is just like what James said, the self-fulfilling prophecy as far as like TA. And I can get behind it. And I'm glad people actually look at it and it's so prevalent because the price seems to go up when people talk about it more and more.
Well, the reason stock to flow works is because the fundamental laws of supply and demand are in economics. And that's what stock to flow is. It's, you shut down the supply, you increase the demand. That's why it works, and that's why I believe in it. It does have its moments where it is off track, but with anything, if you look at the stock to flow over the last 90 years for gold or silver, it is way off stock to flow sometimes. And so again, it is incredible, but it's the basic laws of supply and demand. This isn't what Plan B created isn't magic. It's been around for hundreds of years, but it just works. It's math.
Yeah. And then, Bitcoin's truly scarce. I mean, it is finite, not just scarce, it's finite. And then with gold, it seems like we keep finding different, reserves and off it goes. But I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm good with it as long as it's working out.
I heard NASA's actually really planning a trip to like try to go to one of those asteroids full of quadrillion like gold.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
That's actually a real thing.
Yeah, I see it.
So according to Plan B, he somehow with his stock to flow model, this one he's showing actually he extrapolated where he thinks Bitcoin's going to go. So this is actually a little bit further along, but he does think that in September coming up, that Bitcoin can dip a little bit back down to maybe about 43. He believes that's the floor. And I have heard of other TA guys say that in September there could be a little correction coming. Do you guys feel that's the case?
No, well, my floor is the original resistance was 42.5, which is approximately 43K, and that got flipped to support. So I totally agree with his 42.5 support, not 43, and it could happen. I mean, a big 10% market correction makes people nervous, cash out. That could rattle people. But there was another interesting survey that said 37% of American Bitcoin and crypto investors wouldn't sell no matter what the conditions. They've become this diamond hand culture. So yeah, that could definitely happen. But the important thing to show in this chart is really the color scheme. And a lot of people don't understand how these colors work. But we will not be anywhere near a top until we start seeing a lot of red. So yellow means like calm, easy, gradual incline. Red indicates overbought condition. So wait till the red buttons start to hit. Then it can very easily go parabolic. Like, if it hits 105, 110, and it starts going red, then it can go straight to 200. And that's why he says, first stock to flow, then stock to flow cross asset, which is 288 target.
Right.
And that's exciting.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And you know what? I mean, he said it's going to happen in September.
This one was June. This one he tweeted in June.
Okay. But then he said it might go down, something like that.
Yeah. In here, when he tweeted this, he expected August to go to 47K, which obviously we have hit. But then he's predicted that September it'll go down to 43K. Well, not go down, but that's like the floor. So he expected the floor in August to be higher than September. But then in October, he's like, the floor is 63K, then November 98K, and then December 135K. These are floors, so obviously it could be higher. That would kind of follow. I mean, kind of like we did with the 4-year cycles in December 2017, all the way through. And then I mean, kind of, not exactly. There's no exact. There was this tweet by Alex Mashinsky. He talked about how there's some support for the Fed tapering of bond purchases, something in September. And he said if that happens, then we could see a little bit of dip here and there. But that, again, as an overflow from traditional markets into this market. But again, all these things we can speculate. But if it does happen, I can tell you, I know what I'm going to do. It's the same thing I've been doing the last 4 years. So. Buy real estate?
I'm done with that. I actually took James' advice, and I'm like, I mean, the real estate is just too crazy high right now. I gotta wait.
All right. So why don't we talk about some of these high flyers? I know one of your, I think both of you guys are Cardano fans, right? You guys don't have anything against Cardano, do you?
Not at all.
Nope. Yeah. No, I've got a couple of Cardano stake pools. I have no problems with that whatsoever.
So what do you think about this tremendous rise right now for Cardano this week, defying everything? It just keeps going up, formed another high about 265. Actually, no, it's 273 now. So it just keeps going.
Watch out.
Nearing $3. So do you think this is sustainable? Is it a buy the rumor, sell the news, or buy the rumor, buy the news? What's going to end up happening here?
In all honesty, last week I should have put my money our bet on Cardano. For some reason I did not. But I was listening to James, and he had a good point. He said, "Look," he goes, "Cardano is going to do the same thing that Ethereum is going to do, and it's going to do the same thing that other like Polkadot and all these different ones are already doing, which is smart contracts." He goes, "So let's see if this actually works out and the transactions are cheap and everything else." I would like to believe, but it's true. Let's see how it all plays out. I think if we can get these transactions per second up to as high as they say it could, and it has room to grow on a global scale, like it's what it's built for, I think it'll be a great year for Cardano.
What is their projected TPS, Rob? Because I couldn't find. I found so many mixed reports. I couldn't find a true TPS. I asked
that too. I was curious.
So here's the thing: when you get into the Hydra protocol and you're looking at like Hydra, all these different heads and things like that, you're looking at 1 million transactions per second.
Yeah, but that's not Alonzo Purple. That's way off into the future.
That's way off in the future. So right now, they're talking about somewhere between 35,000 transactions per second. And again, if you take a look at different reports, they'll say different things. But again, the big question is, and it's the same question that we have with Ethereum, can it actually handle the load of what's about to be put on it? Because, I mean, we have the DEXs, like a Sunday swap, like someone else said something around here. We've already got the NFTs that are coming out. We already talked about Cardano Combat on my channel and the NFT process that they're going through right now. So can it actually keep up? Well, remains to be seen. If you listen to Charles Hoskinson, he's like, we got no problems. But again, we will see.
By the way, he did not say that ADA is going to go to $150 by the end of the year. that was spread recently, but
that was fake news. I know.
Yeah,
tricked a lot of people, including myself. But it was a very reputable news organization. I mean, it was shocking that got out and left up for so long.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like $10 or $20, but like to go to $150, that's just like insane. What about this other one? And I have to give it to you, Rob. I mean, we were talking about some promising projects for this week, or just promising projects overall. And you're like, I was looking at Avalanche, and Avalanche definitely made a big move this week, launched this with Aave and Curve Finance, liquid mining, and they just went up like 200% or something this week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
150%. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Yeah, we did it. Like I was talking to you guys about this before. We did a deep dive into Avalanche, and it was a very long video, and we went over everything. And the back and forth between me and the Avalanche team, it took quite a long time. It took me 6 weeks to get that out. Wow. Because when I started it, like I was telling you, like I was talking about the price of like $10 or something like that, and I was like, I think it could do pretty well. It's got some legs to run, and here's the tokenomics, and da da da. And then like when I put it out 2 days ago, it was already, through it. So we'll see. I mean, if you look at teams, I just say watch the video, because like the CEO and the team behind it, they've already worked on like the Bitcoin projects and the bigger projects before, and now they're just a bunch of smart people. But again, you've got a lot of smart people and a lot of smart projects. Can they bring it to market, and can they market it the right way and get into the hands of people and actually make the deals and have great investors behind them? That's really what it comes down to. And if you can't, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find, I get asked during my Q&A, like so many new projects, just like Avalanche, just like Cardano, just like Ethereum, smart contract plays that could be very fast, very scalable, secure, and it can do very well if it can get adoptions and users and dApps and so forth. But it's hard to pick a winner. It's really hard, especially there's literally like dozens upon dozens of new projects or existing projects out there. They're all fighting for the same space, so it's kind of hard to pick a winner sometimes. What else? Well, let's talk about one of your favorite projects, Rob, Voyager.
No. Oh no.
This is your time to shill Voyager as much as you can.
So
what happened to token swap? Is this all good? Anything that we should be aware of?
So this was because the token swap that was going on with the LGO and Ethos token, and then Voyager 1.0 to Voyager 2.0, they actually, trading was halted for a couple of days or 24 hours, whatever it was, and they transferred everything over. And if you were on the Voyager platform, it was automatic. If you're on different exchanges, they work with the exchanges and they did it pretty much for you. And everything was good. And it was because the data was coming in so weird, you saw like an increase of it went from like $3.82 or some whatever it was to almost, it was like $6 and something cents. And I was like, I knew it. And then what happened? When all the data came in, I'm like, no, it didn't work out in my favor. And now I think it's like right around where it was before, 3 something. So on this one, we still have to do the Voyager. I mean, now that the swap is done, time for the loyalty program. And we'll see. That's all I can say. We will see. I think it can do big things, but so far, underperforming. But I mean, how long have we had those types of cryptos in our portfolios? Even you listening at home, how many times have you looked at your portfolio and go, damn, I wish this thing would move? And all of a sudden, one day, bah, off it goes.
Yeah, there's so many like that. It's a patience game, right? It's to make money. It's just who has the most patience, because it's going, the money is flowing from the impatient to the patient people, right? That's just how it is. If you have a good project, sometimes it just doesn't move until it does. Well, I like to point out that our friendly wager from last week, James picking Kusama, is the winner. I checked; it was about up 25%. Voyager, I think it's about even, maybe down a little bit. Unfortunately, my pick, VThor, did not do well. I think they're down like 18%. So congratulations, James. You won.
Congrats, James. Good call. As usual.
Great. But I like to point out, James spent a ton of time to pick his pick during the stream.
No, yeah.
Well, that's what James does, right?
You put me on the spot. I wasn't expecting that question. It's like, and I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I think it was Chainlink. And I said, no, Chainlink chart looks crappy. So I switched gears.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about Solana. Solana, obviously, Last week they were doing well. This week they're still doing well. Take a little breather, but still they seem to have pumped a couple times. And we were talking about what was the reason, and it turns out it's NFTs. They had this degenerative apes, this huge sale, and then right afterwards they had another one called Salamas or something like that. And both were very, very hyped up, and a ton of people got in, and it seems like this was what pumped up Solana. So, are you guys into NFTs at all, or do you still think this is a fad, or you're just sitting on the sidelines?
I will say this: there's a lot of things that I don't know, and there was an article I covered today, matter of fact, and it was one of the original pioneers who had bought a bunch of website domains back in the early 90s and sold them for hundreds of millions of dollars. And he said, my next big thing is NFTs. And he said, it's not just me. A lot of different early people are also getting into it that were with me back in those days. And he talked about the ape, I think it's called the Ape Yacht Club, which sounds ridiculous.
Yes.
But apparently these guys bought it for like $1.3 million, the number 22 rarest ape. And they go, you don't understand. People want these. They want a digital version of it, and this is what it's going to be later on. Now, I can take a look at NFT and go, I'm not a big art guy, but if you look at art on the wall, who is it for me to say that's worth $10? No, Rob, that is worth 10 million. Okay, it's whatever you can get it paid for. And I think, if NFTs are hot, but the other thing I think about is this: when you buy these NFTs, everything's pretty much unless it's Solana, on Ethereum. So if you're going to like OpenSea, those type of places, and you mint it and you sell it and you transfer it, how much does it cost for that? I guess it's not a big deal if you're paying 1.3 million for an ape,
right?
And you got to pay $1,000 or $100 for it. But if it is the big thing, all these different platforms that are based on and can do NFTs should be enormous, I would think.
Every single crypto punk on OpenSea is like $30,000-$50,000 plus, going to the millions. Certain ones are, they're just so high.
And yeah, you're right. And then have you what is it called? Pixie Infinity or something like that? I always forget the name. Axie Infinity. So I was watching Crypto Stash, and he's got a great channel because he just talks about NFTs. And one thing he talks about 3 different games. And I asked this question on Twitter, like, what are you guys doing for real world use cases for crypto? And a lot of people said I'm playing these. There was like 3 games. That one, Gods Unchained, and something else. And they earn real world cryptocurrency. And they can pay for that, and they're actually doing these things to help support their lives and their family. I'm like, that is exactly what it's supposed to do. It's crazy, but it's good.
There's a guy called Robert Schiller who I'm a big fan of because he's a Nobel Prize winner who built a cool model around real estate valuations. I've been following him for 30 years, and he was asked, "Are NFTs a bubble?" And he said, "No, they're not. They are a fad." So what that basically means, and this guy knows his stuff. So the fact that he was even analyzing NFTs blew me away. But basically what that means is they won't disappear and go to nothing like a bubble that'll pop and go to nothing like a tulip bubble or something else. But it'll come and go in waves and also be modified over time. And this takes me back to my thesis that the whole world will be tokenized. And this is the beginning of that. Everything will be shared and tokenized, like apartments or cars or vacation homes, art. And that's what's happening right now. But I think some of the valuations are completely ridiculous.
We know. They are. And then James, and James and George, think of it this way. Like, if you're talking about like NFTs, what about for like property and mortgages and things like that? If you could, when you close on a property or a house, there's all these different fees and they're crazy, right? If you could put these things on the blockchain and it could be an NFT, that would really solve a lot of different problems as far as like the outrageous prices for closing costs. That's what I see.
Yeah, but then all the title companies and everything will go bankrupt, right?
Oh, no, that would suck. But what about the next wave of jobs that are out there? The Elon Musk just had AI Day, right? With all these different AI robots and different technologies.
Tesla bots.
how many different jobs are going to be made with AI and robotics, things like that, we don't even know exist right now. In 20 years, they'll be like, what? A closing company? No one uses that. Just go to the bot.
Yeah, it is I actually talked about that today. Somebody asked me a question regarding, disruption and creative destruction and everything else like that. And that's coming, and that's going to be hard. So anybody out there who is young and in college, sharpen your tools to have jobs that cannot be replaced by robots. So that includes things like accounting and insurance agents and taxi drivers and stuff like that. Think, creative jobs that robots cannot do. That's really very
taxi
important.
Drivers? No, you have autonomous cars. Of course, that's going to replace taxi.
No,
drivers.
I'm talking about jobs that are going away.
Oh, yeah.
Like insurance agents, financial advisors, all that stuff is all going to be replaced by machines. So,
yeah.
Will you guys buy a Tesla bot?
No.
No.
Haven't you seen iRobot? I mean, with Will Smith,
it can only deadlift 150 pounds.
Oh, that's just what they tell you, George. That's what they tell you.
They can pick up a gun or a knife too, probably.
That's what my wife said. Like, what if you're sleeping and it just stabs you? Like, I'm like, why would it do that? But maybe it will.
Because to get rid of us, George, we're worthless. That's why.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the Terminator time is coming around.
Yeah, dirty meat bags, get out of here.
All right, getting back on track. James, is there any crypto that you're watching? Anything that excites you for this week?
Yeah, it's like you put me on the spot again. Let me.
Not that it has to perform well, just something. Anything that's interesting.
Well, it has to do at least 30 to 50% of the audience will not like it. Because that's what they expect.
Are you supposed to say Shiba?
Shiba Inu, James's favorite.
I'm gonna buy a big bag of Doge. No, let me give me a minute. Let me run some numbers and see what has yet to pump that hasn't.
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Voyager again, only because when I said Voyager, everything else pumped. So everybody, you're welcome.
Voyager has been pretty stale as of late, so its turn is probably coming.
I don't know, man. That loyalty program, once the loyalty program kicks in and people are like, oh, I can get all this cash back and rewards and APY, it'll take a couple months at least to kick in, I think.
I don't even know. Recently I've been concentrating a lot on the big caps, like Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, like the bread and butter, I guess. And then of course Polygon and Luna and VeChain. I mean, I'm sticking with these guys, but I think I led with Cardano. Buy the rumor, buy the news. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Cardano is going to continue to do well. Although since that's pumped up so much, I don't know if it's going to do well this week. It might stall out a little bit, but I think going till September, Cardano is just go steadily keep going up and up and up. And I think even afterwards with Goguen done, smart contracts done, that's when it gets really exciting. Everything spins up for Cardano now. All the DeFi projects that's just kind of sitting there waiting, they all can now operate afterwards. So I'm just going to go with Cardano. So something
good. Easy. Okay, James, what do you got? We said
Okay, boys and girls. Okay, Polkadot's at $27 and change right now. I say Polkadot. And the reason I say that is because it's an extremely good protocol, and all the other guys like Cardano's bounced. Solana bounced before Cardano. I think I have this thesis that the market cap of Solana should be the same as Cardano. Cardano is going straight to $100 billion market cap right now as we speak. And it's 5 times the size of Solana. So technically, Solana should be at $280 if things are normal in the universe. And I think Polkadot is very undervalued. So I'd say Polkadot.
Polkadot did move this week too.
It did. Yeah. It did, but it's still, if you look, Cardano's breaking out all-time highs. Polkadot all-time high is 52. It's at 27. So, I'm looking at all of the big protocols that I like that are like Cardano. and that one hasn't popped yet. Algorand will be another one, but that's just been a little bit slow. Let's check out Algo actually.
Don't you think Polkadot will be a little bit slow, especially compared to Kusama, since all the parachain auctions is still on Kusama? Until that's done, you're not gonna.
Am I allowed to pick last week's pick again?
Right,
that's what I do, and they're related. They're brother and sister. So
right,
yeah.
But you don't have the parachain auctions on Polkadot yet, or not anytime soon.
Yep. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Well, okay, so we got those. We have I picked Cardano. James is picking Polkadot, and Rob is picking Voyager once again.
Only because it worked out last week for everybody else except me.
Real quick, are you guys fans of Litecoin?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either. I really hate it.
I don't hate it. I just don't get it. I know there's some people that love Litecoin, and maybe it'll do great. I just don't see the point of it right now. That's all I can say.
Even as an altcoin, it can't even outperform Bitcoin, right? So then, like, as a second biggest store of value, if the second can't outperform the first, then what's the point of getting it? I get you could use it and you could transfer between exchanges and send it P2P as cheaper. I get that use case, but as an investment, it just makes no sense at all. So I don't know. James, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I dug into Litecoin a long time ago, and it has a lot of things about it that stink that I don't like. It has a colored history, which I don't like. Mm-hmm. It's very concentrated. Don't like the token. It's just, there's a whole bunch of things I just don't like. So I would never even dig into it. I know there's like a little Litecoin army out there too that just love it and believe in it. But then again, you also have like Bitcoin Cash and BSV armies too. So you can get everything in this cryptoverse. But I think there's just so many excellent crypto protocols out there. I dabble with older stuff.
Exactly. That's all I can say.
With the exception of Bitcoin. That's the that's the oldest stuff and the best stuff. But
if you had to choose to buy Litecoin or Shiba, which one would you buy?
Shiba.
That was fast. That was very fast.
Yeah, I would pick Litecoin actually.
No,
you would not.
You would not? Which one would you hit, George?
I would pick Shiba too at this point. So that's 3 for 3. We would pick Shiba over Litecoin. Is that what I just
I'd pick Litecoin over Shiba.
Oh, you'll pick Litecoin. Okay.
Oh yeah, any day of the week. Yeah, it's far superior. But remember, Shiba is absolute dog with fleas.
Hey, it has a DEX. It has a
DEX. It has a DEX, and it's got a very passionate, heavy army behind it, and never always look to those projects that have just a strong community, even though it's like, what is it? What's going on here? Whatever.
Yeah. Crazy inflation, crazy centralization, crazy insider distribution is just stinks everywhere.
Boo, James.
Yeah, no, I just want to get numbers.
That's all. Like James.
No, it's just the dumping, as I call it, dumpage of tokens over time would just suppress price. It's designed to line the pockets of the people that assembled it in the first place. These are the projects that you need to avoid, everybody.
Is there any, I don't think we talked about DeFi much. Is there any specific DeFi, not the protocols, but DeFi plays that you guys like? Any AMMs or marketplaces, anything, tokenization projects, anything that you guys are watching at all?
Just the usual suspects I like, the Uniswaps of the world, very big on.
So for AMMs, you would just stick with like the big dog Uniswap?
Yeah, I like projects with real world use cases that I can relate to, with big addressable markets.
Yeah, it's. I mean, especially right now in DeFi, I'm just kind of waiting, sitting back, and just taking it all in, because I mean, we see so many different rug pulls and different things coming out. You're like, I don't know if I can trust that. I don't know if I can trust that. And before you know it, it's like, I mean, it's one thing to make a lot, but it's another thing to keep a lot, and it's very easy to lose everything in this market. So I'm just very cautious. I don't need to make these crazy, oh, there's this crazy yield. Well, let me just put everything into it. I don't have to do that, thank God. And hopefully people watching, you don't have to do that either. You can just, be slow and steady, and tortoise wins the race.
Yeah.
Hey,
And by the way, people are blown away by the strength in Cardano, but cast your eyes on Avalanche again. It's up 10% since the market opened an hour ago. That's insane.
It's pretty good.
Look at Bitcoin now. It pushed. It's pushing now.
Yep, $300 away from 50K.
Yeah.
Let's stay online and crack some champagne with the audience here if that happens.
Cracking bottles. That's what it is.
Yeah. Cracking 50. So
and then
I'll crack a White Claw.
Those things are dangerous, George. Those things are dangerous. Alcohol's high, and before you know, you're like, "What happened? I just had 6. What happened?" Yeah, before you know it. Hey, and then one thing about Avalanche, like if you stake Avalanche, first of all, you can stake. It's locked up. It's like Ethereum, but it's like 2 weeks. You can do 2 weeks up to a year. If you do it for a year, you're looking at 10% APY, and that's not bad. 6 months, I think you're looking at 4.52, something like that %. So,
a lot of these new projects, though, I don't know about new, but there is a lot of projects now where staking is 20-something %, and that's native staking. Like,
it's crazy.
So it's interesting how they could do it. Like, I guess the inflation rate has to be very high to be able to pay something like that. Right?
Exactly. And what people don't realize, it's like a dividend stock. Okay, if you got dividends stocks that pay very high dividends, your capital appreciation always sucks. And the same will be with crypto. That's what people don't realize. And they get enticed by, oh, this is paying me 26% APY. Woohoo, it's great. But you could buy something that 3x's in a month or 5x's in a month. And that's like 500% versus 20%. And this is what people need to wrap their heads around. So don't get too enticed by the big staking rates. Although it is kind of addictive, because I started staking 3 different cryptos just for giggles. And when you see the weekly return or the monthly return in different places, it's really impressive.
Yeah, so everybody likes passive income.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of things pumping right now. You guys mentioned Avalanche. Cardano just formed a new high at 282.
No way.
A lot of things are going up right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Everybody's up 4%, Avalanche up 10%.
And then everybody, if you're wanting to stake, check out D News. Been around for a while. 99.9% uptime, blah, blah, blah. Just a little shilling.
What site did you say?
D News. That's the ticker for our stake pool.
Oh, okay. It's called D News?
D News. I was going to put Dan, just DAN, but someone stole it from me, so I couldn't use that.
Yeah. Well, things are looking good.
Yeah.
We
didn't cover last week's big takeaway or what we expect next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Take it away, James.
James.
Oh, I don't really have anything for it, but there's a couple of things. I was really impressed with the fact that it came to light in 3 different articles that so much Bitcoin is lost. Maybe it was triggered by William Clemente III or other people. But it was nice to see. It's like, hey, there aren't 21 million Bitcoins. There'll never be more than 14 million, which is what I've been saying since January. And that should put the fear of anybody into anybody who thinks they can own a piece of this thing. Like I did a quick calculation last night or the day before, there's like 0.025 Bitcoin left per millionaire on Earth. So imagine the 52 millionaires wanted to go buy some Bitcoin now. They can't. It's game over. And the other big thing was that mayor in Missouri, I can't remember his name, Jason Stewart or something, wants to give everybody crypto. I think that's cool. There's all these little towns and some little states are really embracing Bitcoin and crypto. And it's a great way to get voted. It's like give everybody free money, helicopter money. That's positive.
$1,000 of Bitcoin to all the citizens.
Yeah.
How much will that be worth in 5 years if they hang on to it? They won't hang on to it.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then Gary Gensler signaling the Bitcoin ETF in a strong way through the futures. So that was positive too. That's going to come.
But that's not really positive, right? That's a futures Bitcoin ETF.
No. Gary Gensler said, in order to have a Bitcoin ETF, he needs to have a Bitcoin futures ETF first.
I see.
That's been greenlit. So I'd say it's 3 or 4 or 5 months away now from a Bitcoin one.
Who got that? Who got that? Do you remember the Bitcoin futures ETF?
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. I was just curious because, we have so many ETFs. Being put forth. I wonder who's going to get the first one. That would be a great bet.
Oh, it's Grayscale.
Great bet.
Grayscale has it because they got 650,000 Bitcoin. There's no other place to start. You can't give it to anybody else, and that's why Grayscale partnered up with BNY Mellon to have that infrastructure to get approved real fast. So it's all happening.
Okay, I'll take that. That sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Rob, did you?
Oh, for next week.
Next,
listen. I honestly thought that this week we were going to see like a little bit of a down week because we had such a great week last week. But I think we are in a bull market. So who knows what this week might be? Even we might see some more all-time highs for some other smaller caps, not just Cardano. But imagine if Cardano keeps going up, like George says, by the rumor, by the news. Imagine a 350 Cardano. It's not so crazy now, but 4 months ago that was ludicrous. So for this next week, Bitcoin will hit 50,000. That's a given. ETH should still keep going up. Cardano should, and XRP, man, it seems like it just never goes. Just keeps going up too. Never goes down. I'm hoping this will be another great bullish week. But my gut tells me that we have to have some kind of pullback. There has to be a little bit something because it just seems like we're just going higher and higher and higher. But the same things happened before in, like I was saying, September, October 2017. Same thing.
But Rob, look at the exchanges. Look, like what is absolutely terrifying to me. If I wanted to have an ETH bag, and I had a look at the Ethereum flying off the exchanges against the backdrop of ETH 2.0, where it goes deflationary. That's going to go parabolic real soon. And why ETH is so low with Cardano going so high is ridiculous. And here we are. We are now $240 away from 50,000 on Bitcoin. So keep the good juju coming, everybody out there.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
Ethereum, man, the reserves, the number, the scale for Bitcoin. Ethereum reserves on the exchanges just keeps dropping. And you're right. Look at
the burn.
Almost 76,000 ETH burned. That's a significant amount within such a short amount of time.
It's bigger than your bag, isn't it, George?
I don't know.
Just slightly.
Yeah, maybe just slightly. But yeah, Ethereum is just. The thing is, though, do you think Ethereum 2.0 will be done, or both you guys done by the end of the year? Because I heard, the difficulty bomb is set to be activated at the end of the year because that's when they expect ETH 2.0 to be done. Do you think that's going to be the case, or it's going to be delayed some more?
Delayed.
Well, first of all, everybody said EIP 1559 was going to be delayed. It was delayed, 4 days, 5 days? Nothing. Yeah. And they brought ETH 2.0 ahead by bringing the difficulty bomb back to December instead of January. Mm-hmm. That's a bullish sign. That means these guys know what they're doing. They're going to have everything ready. So I think they're going to pull it off. And especially with the pressure now coming from other projects like Solana and Cardano, it's like they can't drop the ball and they got to fix the gas fee issue. The gas fees are going up again right now. The trend is up because there's simply so much being run through the Ethereum network. It's not because scalability has gotten worse. It's just being used a lot more. Ooh. Okay, $120 from
getting really close.
This could be a good party.
Close. Don't you sell out there.
Pass me the champagne. So this is crazy. But we'll see if the sell-off does happen. There's a little big buy order just came in actually on Bitcoin. So this is what sometimes happens. The psychology of humans
already, guys.
Nice. I have my Miller Lights chilled. It's a vintage year of 2021. It's a Chateau Miller Lite. I will get it later.
Well, I'm 2 stories beneath my fridge, so I don't have the luxury of having a fridge close by. It's a 5-minute walk.
Jen is in a bunker.
You don't have a fridge in your bunker?
No, not even a coffee machine.
No, he's just got
I put all my money into Bitcoin.
golden ledgers.
So yeah.
All
This is
right,
crazy.
I don't know what you guys want to do. You want to stay a little longer, see if we hit 50,000, or
Absolutely,
you guys
yeah. Ask the audience out there, see what people want on the channel. Do they want to keep it? There's a question: is XRP versus VeChain? James George, VeChain all the way. Safer play.
Cake.
Pancake swap is, guys, look at the tokenomics. Do some research. It's a nightmare story. Buy Uniswap instead.
Hey,
simple return. So
James, before I forget, there was some kind of, remember I asked you a question on one of your chats.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, what's that program that you use for all your data?
Yes.
So tell us real quick about that, because I would like to have that.
It's a thing called the Crypto Compendium. Been building. So I started doing a lot of token analysis over the past 6 months, and it just takes so much work. Yeah. So the vision was to create a data-driven model. You just pull data in from websites like Masari and CoinMarketCap and all these different places, put them in this big box, profile them, and it'll spit out numbers. And there's basically, it's a 10-point scoring system across 15 different parameters. And it says yes, maybe, or no.
Okay.
That's it. And then it determines if it's worth investing in and doing a deeper dive.
Okay. So how do we get that? That's just in development?
It's in development. I started with the top 100, excluded a couple of things. And now it's being built up to the top 300 tokens, because I have a pain in my butt from people asking me, what do you think of number 267 or whatever? So
George knows that, because I've been on his live streams. People asking the most ridiculous. I'm like, I've never heard of that myself. And George is like, I don't know.
But at least, so there's a pros and cons of this. Is one, 90% of the time it's garbage. But 10% of the time, people are onto something, and they do uncover little gems. So I want to get better at helping people find these gems in a data-driven way, and stay away from the garbage as well. People don't do the work.
That's why I still take the time to go through Q&A. Oh, we're $50 away. Because I find it's more like 99% garbage, but 1%
yeah, it's true.
is actually a good gem, and then it could actually be something. So I still do enjoy some of the Q&A, but most of the questions are the same over and over and over and over and over and over again, or it's just some project that's trying to show their new project.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
exactly. But at least now I don't have an opinion. I have a data-driven opinion, and you can't argue with the numbers. But just people still don't take the time to dig into certain facts, and a lot of people will be hurt in this whenever the bear market comes around, maybe Q1, Q2, Q3 of next year. A lot of people are going to lose 90%, especially if they don't figure out their exit plans.
James, why are you always so negative?
I'm not negative. I'm just being realistic. My job is to help people not lose money and make money. So I've never been more excited in my life. This is so fun to do, and it's funny because the playing field here is a lot easier than trying to uncover equity gems. Finding crypto gems is a lot easier.
Equity gems, and you gotta dig through so much stuff about that. That's what bores me to tears. Like my brother sat me down. He's like, "Look, this is a great stock, and and it's gonna go up 2% in a year." I'm like, I almost fell asleep in that whole sentence you just told me. And he's like, I keep trying to get into Bitcoin and crypto. They're like, nope, no chance at all. What are you gonna do? I mean, you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah. Anyway, this is crazy. So I did say last week I did screw up. Complete mea culpa. I thought this week we were going to hit 50K. I said there's a good chance it could happen within 48 hours of the last time we spoke. So it would be incredible if it does hit this week, because then I'm half right. not within the 48 hours, but I said this week we should hit 50K Pacific time. So this is exciting. We're $80 away. Fingers crossed.
A week here or there really means nothing, right? And anyways, even though Bitcoin didn't hit 50,000 yet, or didn't hit it recently yet, altcoins are exploding. So I don't think anyone really is complaining, unless you're a bear, or you're shorter, or you're a Bitcoin maxi, I guess. What do you guys think about Bitcoin maxi? Since we have some time, I don't know if we're going to actually hit it, but what do you think about Bitcoin maxis that are really, really, really against all altcoins and calls all altcoins shitcoins? What do you guys feel about those guys?
Well, I think it's hard to say because I do respect many of them in a big way. For example, Jack Dorsey from Twitter,
Sure.
hardcore Bitcoin maxi. Michael Saylor, hardcore Bitcoin maxi. But he's coming around. He's beginning to look at Ethereum. So there are some of those folks that I have a lot of respect for because they just like what they have and they see the asymmetric bet, and that's good. And you even had people like Raoul Pal. He used to be a Bitcoin maxi, but now he's like into the metaverse and everything else. So people can change, but the people that are absolutely stubborn and violently against people like Charles Hoskinson or Vitalik Buterin or whatever, they are a little too extreme for me. And I think that's wrong. Even if you don't agree with the protocol, you shouldn't say bad things about the people behind them, saying they're liars and thieves and scammers and stuff. So that's my take.
Yeah. I mean, my take is I think they've been around for so long. And this is why I talk about cryptocurrency and digital assets. Because if you just take a look at Bitcoin, currency, okay, I got it, right? You take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is, I mean, if you look at a broad spectrum, it is a currency per se, but it does so many different things, you know? And I think when people who are the maxis look at that, they go, who cares about Ethereum? Bitcoin can do all that stuff. No, it can't. No, it can't. I don't care if you're going to talk about Lightning Network and how great it's going to be, and it's going to be, look, have that. But do you think that Bitcoin on a global scale can take care of every certain different thing as far as like DeFi, digital ID, tracking, NFTs and everything else? You are out of your mind. So I just think I think they get tunnel vision, and that's fine. I mean, let's be honest. I think we need people like that out there to push the message, the narrative, so people can actually get in. Bitcoin to me is just a gateway crypto. And before you know it, just like Raoul Pal, like James talked about, you're like, hey, what's this? What's this Avalanche? What's this Solana? What's this Cardano? And then off you go.
And in full disclosure, I was a Bitcoin maxi from 2017 till March 2020. And then I went for a long bike ride with a friend who is a huge Ethereum maxi, and him and I, we talked for like 6 hours about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that night, I bought a huge bag of Ethereum at $200. So, and that was the beginning of my altcoin journey. And I was incredible because my Ethereum gains, you know, you could argue they were bigger than my Bitcoin gains. So
bigger than how much has been burned so far?
No. In terms of like percentage return, especially in the time frame, I mean, $200 to $3,300, and it's absolutely bonkers. But then again, you think you can't do that. But then with the Solanas and the Avalanches and the Cardanos at $1 a few weeks ago to what it is today, I mean, these are truly crazy times. So, by the way, I'm just looking at the sell walls, a huge dump at around 49.9 of Bitcoin, but it's been bought up again. So this is always the typical the selling pressure. The people that want to get out just before the big level of 50K, they're selling now, but it's being bought up. And that volume was very gradual all the way from 49.4. And here it goes again. So we'll see. Well, that's a big spike on your chart there.
Yeah.
Let's get Gary Gensler buying again.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts for next week? And then we can wrap up if we're not going to hit the 50K here. What do you guys see happening?
For me, I think 50K is right around the corner, whether or not it happens right now or tomorrow or a few days. The market is just really, really strong right now. So I anticipate we're going to see a lot more altcoin pumps. The ones that probably didn't pump last week will get their turn and pump this week. And I just expect good things. I mean, there's just, if you cover the news and you just pay attention to the countries that are trying to get in, the companies that's getting in, the banks that are getting in, the retail investors. And if you just add all that up, that we're going higher, right? So it's just a matter of being patient and waiting for it. But in the meantime, enjoy those altcoin gains, right?
Yeah. And if you want to see something going skyrocketing, throw Avalanche up there in your chart, George.
What's Avalanche? AVAX?
Yeah. Watch this. Buckle in, boys.
No, look at that nonsense.
It's the biggest alt performer right now by far. ADA is up 3%, Avalanche up 21%. That is crazy.
You
I will
had
say-
your chance, Rob, to pick this.
I did. Well, I will say this: when I had I forgot the guy's name. He was from Avalanche. He goes, look out in Q4. We got a lot of deals, a lot of things that we can't announce right now. He goes, but it's going to be big. I wish I could tell you. I'm like, I know the game. It's okay. You don't tell me. So this could be. Imagine if it's whatever it is right now, and then we go to Q4, October, November, December. Ooh, scary. Glad I own some.
Cool.
All right. Well, I guess I don't think we're going to see Bitcoin hit. Well, maybe we're getting up there again.
It's always at 916, and then Gensler sells, and then Scott Menard buys, and everything else, and then James puts his orders in, and then it dumps the whole thing.
James, don't put your short orders in right now.
Yeah, stop.
No. I know where this thing is going, and I'm a Reddit diamond hand guy at this stage. Wall Street bets, you can call me. So I'm holding on to my Solana and my Ethereum. I have a Bitcoin, and there's no need to sell those things.
Look, we did it. We did enough tonight. We pumped it enough. I think that's good. It's not. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. George has got kids.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta go take care of the little ones.
I gotta give him that White Claw. Okay.
I got a White Claw waiting for me.
Thank you guys, as always, and everybody out there as well. I hope we got to some of the super chats and answer some of the questions. And thank you, Rob and George.
Yeah, definitely check out Rob and George at their channels. Their URL is in the description. And stay tuned until next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night, boys. Bye.
Bye, guys.